show, everybody. So the best thing that happened today was Joe Torre coming out.
I loved it.
And taking out Carlos Rodon. Oh, by the way, if you look at Carlos Rodon's spring training numbers, not too bad.
Last couple of starts were really good today, and then the one last Wednesday
today,
was
5 2/3 hitless innings against the Phillies. And I think he's going to... I said right at the beginning, I thought he's one of the big variables. He, Nestor Cortez, opening day starter, those are big variables. And if he can give you a season like he had with the Giants, or if he had the year before with the White Sox, Yankees are in really good shape where they just hold the fort until Garrett Cole gets back maybe in June. Because all things considered, the fact that they don't have to cut into Garrett Cole's arm, at least now, that's a good thing. If they could get him for 3.5 months of the season, rather than dreaming at one point of not having him at all, that's pretty good. And the fact that Joe Torre, who's in camp by invite of Aaron Boone, came out with that very distinctive walk where he looks like he's walking into the wind, kind of a swagger. He takes his first time that Carlos Rodon had ever met him. How cool is that?
On the hill?
On the hill. Wow. First time he ever met him, took the ball, and then he was talking to the infielders. You see Anthony Volpe, who was 5 years old when Joe last managed the Yankees, had this big, broad grin on his face. That's the best thing that happened today, I think.
Well, if you're a Yankee fan, it's a big deal for sure because it's nostalgic.
It's nice.
I saw some Met fans on Twitter or X go, even as a Met fan, that's really cool to see.
If you're a certain age as a Met fan, he played for the Mets. He managed the Mets. They weren't any good, but...
I don't think it matters. Can I be honest? I don't think it matters what your fan base is.
Here's the thing.
It's a cool moment.
Here's growing up a Met fan and not liking the Yankees. I still knew the Yankees up and down. I still watched the Yankees when the Mets didn't play. I mean, if you're a baseball fan and it's every day... And now that they play each other every season, how do you, not know the other manager in town and what's going on? And then, of course, they own the postseason for half a decade. So you're going to have an opinion on Joe Torre. Now, I thought he did a great job when he played and when he managed. He just didn't have a very good team. I always liked Joe Torre. I did. Now, I didn't like the Yankees, but, now that you fast forward, it's been 17 years since he managed for the Yankees. How do you not have some positive nostalgia about just Joe Torre involved in New York baseball?
I have a little surprise because I said the best thing that happened today was Joe Torre walking out to the mound. So I took it upon myself, just texted Joe, and he's coming on right now. He joins us this second. Right this second. Joe, Michael, Don, and Peter, thanks for coming on. How you doing?
I'm good, guys. I survived.
Well, I didn't say that. You look great. Honestly, it was a flashback, but looks like you could still do this.
I'll tell you, Booney was great. He says, I'm not going to, him and Osmond, he said, I'm not going to ask you to carry that pitch comm out there. I said, well, I can pretend it's a map so I can find my way to the mound. But,
Joe, what did you...
I was... Go ahead.
So sorry about that. What did you say after you took the ball from Rodon? You were sitting there talking to the infield, and what did you say to those guys?
I just told them, every time I went to the mound, it always reminded me of Andy Pettit, who used to burn a hole through me when I'd come out to the mound to take him out. And then on the way home, he would stop in my office and apologize for showing me that.
I got to tell you this, Joe. I'm watching this unfold, right? I get emotional now at the opening of a Stop and Shop, and I kind of got choked up because, it takes you back all those years when you would walk to the mound. So I'm wondering, was there any emotion for you?
There was. The other day, Booney asked me, he says, do you want to, change pitchers? And my knee-jerk reaction was no. I just, it's not my place, it's your place. And, today when he asked me again, I got to think about it. I said it would be cool to do that because I'm going back to New York tomorrow. And, it worked out really well. And Rodon pitched so well, so it was a lot of fun going out there.
What'd you say to Rodon?
Emotional, yes. Oh, I was just kidding with him because when I was shaking his hands before the game when he comes in from warming up, I was in the process of putting sunscreen on, and And I went to slap his hand and, got the sunscreen. So I just told him that's all you need to do then. When you go out there, you have to have sunscreen on your hand.
Wow.
even though you'd get suspended for it. But,
Joe, usually we...
I was happy for him because he pitched so well.
Really did.
We usually ask somebody in your situation, like, what do you miss about managing? But when you look at what's happening with the Yankees now, no Cole, what's going on with Judge, you find out there's an injury to DJ. Would you file these under things you don't miss about being manager of the Yankees?
No, that was always a challenge. You remember my first spring, we lost David Cohn. And I remember Zimman, because he wasn't throwing really well. And Zim said, if we have to worry about Cone, we're in bad shape and all that. And then all of a sudden, Doc Gooden stepped up. But that's always a challenge. But what you do miss, you miss the people. You miss the players. And that's the thing that was nostalgic for me here, because the players couldn't be nicer. First day I was here, just a number of them came in the coach's room and wanted to say hello and introduce themselves. So, it was a great experience. Booney had called me about 3 weeks ago when I was traveling with the MLB group to do the meetings in Arizona. And when I saw Booney was calling, I said he probably butt dialed me. And then I picked up and I answered the phone, and he says, "How about come and see us and then put on the uniform?" I said, "Well, I plan on coming to Florida to see you guys, but I don't know about putting on the uniform." And when I got in the coach's room the other day, and there's Willie Randolph and Ron Guidry, and I said, "Oh, what the heck," and it was very comfortable. I'm happy to report.
Well, I think it was comfortable for all of us to see as well. A wonderful moment. What's Boone like as a manager versus a player? And did you think in 2003, did he get anything from him that said this guy would be a great leader of men one day?
Well, to me, he's got a bloodline. I mean, the family have all been in the major leagues. His grandfather, and his dad, and to me, that was never an issue whether he was comfortable doing it. Of course, going to New York and then all of a sudden managing for the first time is certainly not an easy task. But he seemed very relaxed. He has a good bench coach, and Brad Osmus. I had Osmus when I was managing the Dodgers. However, with all the numbers and analytics and everything they're talking about, I think I was born at the right time and managed at the right time. That's all I could say.
I have an analytic number. Does it seem like 17 years the last time you managed the Yankees?
No, it's unbelievable. But, Michael, I want to tell you, you're not even close to where I am right now. When it gets to a certain number, it's like the calendar turns every 10 minutes. But no, it doesn't. I mean, the Yankees changed my life professionally, and certainly put me in a place that I never dreamed I'd be, and I just could never be more appreciative.
Are you cool with the way the game is now analytically? Is it too much or just right for you?
Well, I you know what? Information is important. There's no getting around that. But I just don't want managers to give up the instincts that they have accrued over a number of years in the game. And because as far as I'm concerned, baseball, I know things aren't supposed to happen, but baseball's full of things that aren't supposed to happen that change the course of a team or a game. And the human element is still so important to me, and that's the only thing I object to, is if there's just too much attention paid to the numbers and you forget about the instincts that, in my opinion, that you should be using on a regular basis.
Joe, I promised you a couple of minutes. Thank you so much. And in a world where there's not a lot of stuff to smile about, today I smiled because I thought that was so neat. So I hope you enjoyed it as well, because I know baseball fans, I'm looking on social media, they just think it's the coolest thing that happened today. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, it was great. And as I said, I was unsure when I came here, but I'm certainly happy I did.
We are too. Thank you, Joe.
All right, guys. Take
All right.
care.
That's Joe Torre. Kind of neat. Really, really.
Good work, Michael.
If you haven't seen it, I mean, if you're watching Yes, they just rolled it in because the game was on Yes. But go to social media because it's still that number 6, walking slowly out to the mound. And it was neat. It was really neat. There's no other way to describe it.
Listen, he was a part of Yankee fans' lives for a long, long time, and a lot of winning, a lot of big games.
He still sounds so great, although I'm not going to lie, that one line was haunting.
Which was what?
And he said, at this age, the calendar turns every 10 minutes.
Oh, I mean, I'm 63, and I feel like that. He's 84. He's going to be 84. So, yeah, it turns quick.
It's the cruelest. It is the cruelest of things.
Oh, yeah. It's one thing we haven't figured out.
Well, there's no way to figure it out.
Right.
You can't, because it's all perspective, and you can't change the perspective.
But put it this way, Michael, because he said you're not going through this right now. You think you are, but go back 22 years ago. He's managing the Yankees in 2002.
Right.
Just coming off a World Series loss, still a perennial player. There was a lot going on there. You're in good shape at 62.